Hey guys, George here from the F1 Chronicle, and in the wake of the Miami Grand Prix, I'm asking, can McLaren win the F1 World Championship? Now, it might seem a little out there, but Lando Norris's pace in Miami was nothing short of sensational, as he absolutely rocketed to an amazing first Grand Prix win. So I'm asking, how high can McLaren go? Can they actually win the championship? I mean, you know, they're a team that have got a lot of history in it. They've not won any sort of F1 championship since Hamilton won the Drivers' Championship in 2008, and they haven't won a Constructors' Championship this millennium. The last time they actually did that was 1999. 1998, I should say. I do apologise, that was Ferrari in 99. They would have won it in 2007 if they weren't kicked out for Spygate. That is another separate topic for another video. But yeah, so it's been either way, it's been a very long time since they've had the best car in F1. Around Miami in the Grand Prix, they probably were up there in terms of Red Bull's pace, you know? Honestly. I mean, yeah, Norris had fresher tyres, which made a big reason for him being faster, but overall, very, very impressive in the race for him to pull out that 8-second gap by the finish. Superb. Really, really good. And you can go and look at another video that I've put out earlier this week that goes in detail about, how Lando Norris actually managed to do that, because it shouldn't have been possible, but he did it. So, how likely is a title charge? Well, realistically, it's probably not going to happen. In either the drivers or the constructors. I mean, as good as Norris was, he was a bit lucky. He was a bit lucky with the safety car, and he wouldn't have won if it weren't for that. Yes, he took his chance. He did excellent, but if it wasn't for that, Verstappen would have won the race. And you could say, for the other race where Carlos Sainz won the race in Australia, you could say the same thing again. If it wasn't for Verstappen having his engine problem, he would have won the race. So right now, Verstappen and Red Bull are the unbeatable combination. There's not been an example this year so far where Verstappen's had a clean race and nothing's gone wrong for him and he hasn't won. He hasn't genuinely been outpaced this season yet. And I don't see that happening anytime soon, to be honest. But what is likely for McLaren is that they could well get the best of the rest, if you wish to call it that. At the moment, at the time of recording, they have a 63-point gap to Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship for second. I think they could really bear down and beat them in that. But what's even more likely is Lando Norris getting third, perhaps even second in the Drivers' Championship. He's currently 15 points behind Charles Leclerc, and he's 20 points behind Sergio Perez in second. So I could see McLaren being second in the Constructors, and McLaren driver Lando Norris being second in the Drivers. What's going to hurt McLaren as well is Oscar Piastri, and I don't mean this disrespectfully. He's just not as consistent as Norris, because he's not as experienced. And unfortunately, he had quite a bad weekend in Miami overall. Not really his fault, let's be honest. It wasn't really his fault. But yeah, that wing damage just killed his race. It would have been fairly far up the grid if it weren't for that, and he made a good comeback in the latter stages. But yeah, he's not as consistent as Norris. He is a fantastic driver, and he'll only get better with experience, and it's only his second season. He's got a very, very bright future in the sport. Absolutely. But he's not as consistent as Norris, simple as that. And, if you had to have any hope of, winning a championship, you need two drivers that are very consistent. Unless you're like Red Bull and you're that far ahead of the field that Max Verstappen can just win the championship anyway. But that's a very, very far outlier on that one. I think if, McLaren are going to beat Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship, they need a lot of luck. And they need Oscar Piastri to start picking up some more points, which I think he will do, especially as the season goes on. So yeah. Sorry, McLaren fans, I am one of you, but I don't think we're going to win the championship this year. And if you're being totally honest, I don't think you thought that either. But second place in drivers and constructors is on the cards. But what do you think about McLaren's fortunes? Do you think, how high are they going to get up in the championship? Is this a flash in the pan or a sign of some future form? Let us know in the comments below. And for more videos like this, keep it tuned to the F1Chronicle.com.